Hello, good people. This is April Haltala, and you are listening to New York Podcast. The podcast is aimed at motivating and encouraging students and young professionals to be their best selves, of course, and also I promote self care through advice and tips. Today is January the 17th, 2020, and this is episode 2, where I discuss takers and toxic friends. So let's get into it. How many of you have friends, acquaintances, associates that are constantly taking? They take advantage, they take the benefits from the relationship, and they're not contributing anything back. They're not contributing their friendship, they're not contributing their time, they're not giving money, they're not giving any of the resources back into the relationship. And guess what? It's not fair. Just take, and take. Guess what? No more. Staying in toxic relationships, rather it's a marriage or a romantic relationship, or like I said, a friendship, it's just not good for your health. Of course, you have to stay and work it out when there's something to be worked out, but you don't get a reward for your suffering. Well, keep in mind if you had a 10-year friendship, maybe you shouldn't throw that away so quickly. It's always worth the conversation. I mean, I've heard countless stories of people who met in kindergarten and they're like 70 years old and they still hang out with their buddy. Of course, some relationships hit a rough patch. Maybe you guys fall out. Maybe it's over a female. Maybe it's over money. Maybe it's over a business transaction. Give it time and work it out if it's worth it. But, you don't get to say you won. Winning a loser does not constitute a victory. Staying in friendships that have expired does not constitute, well, I stuck it out, I'm taking the higher road. No such thing in friendships and relationships. It just means that you got saddled with the loser and you will be taking perpetual losses. Not good. On the other side, don't be a side chick. Because, like I said, there's two sides of a relationship. There's one where you're in for the long haul, and there's one where you're just for seasons. And guess what? You're worth more than a quickie. You're worth a meaningful relationship. So stop letting people take or steal from you. Stop letting people take your time, waste your money, and undermine your intelligence while stomping on your heart. Just not worth it. Walk away. There's millions of people in the world. You can make friends with somebody else. Or you can just start a new relationship with somebody who's worth your time. Let this be the year that you take back your power. Take back your power over eating. Take back your power over self-doubt. Take back your power from procrastination. This is the year where you are going to say, I am in control of my habits and my behavior and my thought process. I am in control of me. Now, of course, there are people that need constant encouragement and empowerment, and that's not necessarily a bad thing. It just means that maybe you're in an unfamiliar environment. Maybe you're not around your support system. Just create sister circles or brother circles. This is basically a collection of women or men or both that empower one another through laughter and dining and advice. It's usually a no pressure situation, but the idea is to share experiences in a relaxed setting. Now, I don't know if you noticed, but there are a lot of these sister circles around my city of New York. And you can meet people from random strangers, but the idea is that the ages should not exceed 10 years elder or 10 years junior for relatability and comfort. But it's really cool because, you formulate these groups and of course it's no pressure, but you need to kind of like share some kind of experience that keeps the group in connection with each other. So like you'll have a woman who's maybe at the top of the age range. She's probably like 40, and she's talking about, giving advice to the girls that are like 30, and she's saying things like, when I got married, this is what I expected, this is what actually happened, the ups and downs in her career and parenting, and she decided not to have kids, but some of the people did want kids. So then that was when one of the other women could step in and say, well, I have kids, and let me tell you this and this and this and this. So it was really great. And then you had girls who were like 29, almost 30, and they were just getting ready to decide if they wanted to marry their long-term boyfriend and at what point should they consider having kids. It was just a collection of wonderful women. And this is just from my experience. I thought it was great. I always had people that I could talk to that, maybe were not immediately in relation with each other, but I could definitely count on them when I needed advice or just encouragement. And, when I did need advice or encouragement, I just needed a great atmosphere to hang out with people that were like-minded. They were professionals in their career. They were students that were finishing their grad school or however walk of life they were from. It was just great to have that environment to relax and share things. I'm sure it could be same side for men. I mean, hanging out with a group of guys, whether you're going to the sauna together and drinking lonqueros, or rather you are just kind of like at work and you have your work groups. You guys bounce ideas off of each other. You hang out, you share your experiences. It's the same kind of idea. You don't want to feel alone in these kind of situations. You don't want to feel alone handling a relationship that is suffering. You don't want to feel alone in ending a 10-year friendship. Nobody wants to feel alone. So create your little circles and find encouragement and empowerment to either move on or to work through things. That's what it's all about, helping each other. And I'm certainly happy to share my experiences and efforts to help people. So, in light of creating meaningful relationships and maintaining them, don't just contact people when you need something. A classic example. When you need letters of recommendation or references, it's so agonizing to formulate an email to a college professor you haven't reached out since the day you graduated 4 years ago or something like that. It's so nauseating to have your inbox with requests from people that want you to write a letter for them when you haven't even spoken to them in years. This has happened to me. I've had somebody reach out to me and I didn't even know who they were. And I literally had responded to them and I told them, how do I know you? Turns out they were my matched partner on LinkedIn. Somehow we had a connection at a random conference, and then they remembered that I did something in this kind of area. And they wanted me. I said, wow, like it's really a commitment for anybody to have to devote their efforts in vouching for your character or your ability to do something. You shouldn't just make it a random occurrence. It should be somebody that you're in contact with, if not constantly, occasionally, and they should really be comfortable with vouching for you. So just remember, if you do have people that you deem in a high example for your life, a high position in your life, somebody that you would want as a staple in your life, just remember to maintain contact with them. Don't just reach out when you need something. Maybe put it on your calendar every Easter, every Christmas, every 4th of July, every whatever, every Independence Day. Reach out to them and send them a nice email. Hi, this is what I'm doing. What are you doing? Just to maintain that communication. And of course, be the example you want to see. If you want more flowers from your spouse, hey, start buying flowers for yourself. If you would like to have somebody not leave the toilet seat up, then you make a little cute note. Put the toilet seat down, and it'll be a constant reminder. Maybe you don't have to physically verbally say it, but the letter or the note says it all. So always remember that when you want to see something, some change, you want to see something that you're not seeing currently, be that example and it will catch on. Watch, do a test. I want you today, do a test. If somebody that you are in a relationship with is constantly doing something you don't like, for example, showing up late to everything, watch. I want you to show up on time and You give the person, set it 5:30. We're showing up at 5:30. Everybody get there at 5:30. You get there at 5:30 on the nose. And you watch how many people show up late or who shows up on time or who was there already early. And you have your meeting, have your dinner, have your whatever you were supposed to be meeting to do. And if that person is not where they're supposed to be, then you tell them. You tell them right then and there. We were here on time. Where were you? I was waiting. And you tell them, look, I'm making some updates in my life. If you don't show up early or on time, I just have to start doing things without you. And you put it that straightforward. A lot of people say, yeah, you don't understand. This happened. My car broke down. My babysitter wasn't here. Whatever the excuse is. People make time for what's important for them. Remember that. So as you get started on your journeys and projects, be responsible when setting appointments and meeting people, because first impressions are lasting and they determine whether or not you get a second chance to waste someone's time. Now I want to take a moment and talk about some of the celebrities that lost their lives in 2019. Diane Carroll, John Witherspoon, Oli Lintel, John Singleton, Luke Perry, Matti Nykänen, Karl Lagerfeld, Juice WRLD, Nipsey Hussle, and the Pulitzer Prize winner Toni Morrison, whose work has influenced my life tremendously. Toni Morrison's novel, The Bluest Eye Ever, was the first book that I read outside of a sign reading from writing class or English class or literature class. I read it on my own in the summer. I must have been turning 11 years old. It was actually my sister's book. And I just read it and I just remember feeling so aware of the world outside of my neighborhood, outside of my community, outside of my school. I just remember feeling like, wow, there's people who are really in adverse situations and circumstances. And me, my 11-year-old self, just kind of like woke up that summer and started becoming more socially aware of people and things outside of myself. So I really want to acknowledge Toni Morrison's work and how she affected my life. So January is the month of starting over. You start being productive, you start over, you start new things, but you, on the other side, need to remember that where there's something starting, there must be something stopping. Don't start lying to yourself now. This is true. Everyone starts and stops something. So maybe you should stop being lazy. Maybe it's time to start being more productive. So yeah, this is a start and stop month, and it's a slippery slope because a lot of people, they get on this whole mental readiness of starting over. I'm going to be new. I'm going to be fresh. I'm going to do it right. But then they backslide into doing what they were stopping. So it's a tricky month. You need to be sure that you keep your motivation and focus in check. This is where you should create a vision board. Now, I'm an advocate for vision boards because not only do they allow you to find images, words, pictures, videos, clips, names of people and things and places that you envision yourself being for the year to come. So for me, my vision board has a lot of travel destinations on it. I haven't done any travel since 2018. And I tell you, I'm ready to start moving around a little bit more. So I have like Japan, I have like Barcelona, little things like that. And it motivates me because, hello, I do want to see these wonderful places. So what does your vision board have? Are you looking to buy a new house? Are you starting a family? Are you graduating from college? Are you buying a new car? Hey, planning a marriage, planning a wedding, anything. Just put it on your vision board and watch things come to actualization. So the whole goal is to put things on the board, and as they become actualized, as you accomplish those goals, you take them off the board. So let's see how many things you can take off your board this year. The Finnish word of the day is Uuden vuoden päivä. This is New Year's Day in honor of January the 1st, 2020. So thank you for listening. There are hundreds of thousands of podcasts out there, and you've chosen to listen to mine, which makes me really happy. Thank you.